You ever watch a plane take off and think, man, that's a lot of power? It is. Those engines roar, the plane vibrates, and slowly, it lifts off the ground. It's a beautiful thing, really, a testament to engineering and human ingenuity. But sometimes, something goes wrong, something unexpected. Something that turns that beautiful takeoff into a terrifying near disaster. This is the story of American Airlines Flight 300. On June 2, 1999, American Airlines Flight 300 was scheduled to depart from Little Rock, Arkansas, headed for Miami, Florida. It was a routine flight, a typical Tuesday. Passengers boarded, settled into their seats, and prepared for a sunny Florida vacation or a business trip. Little did they know, they were about to experience a terrifying ordeal that would be etched in their memories forever. Now, this wasn't some tiny puddle jumper. Flight 300 was a McDonnell Douglas MD-82, a workhorse of the skies. It was a familiar sight at airports, known for its reliability. But on that day, something wasn't right. The plane was carrying 137 souls, 132 passengers, 3 flight attendants, and 2 pilots. Captain Richard Buschmann, a veteran pilot with years of experience, was at the helm. He was known for his cool head and expert handling of aircraft. But even the most experienced pilot can't predict everything. As Flight 300 taxied down the runway and prepared for takeoff, the weather was less than ideal. Thunderstorms were brewing in the distance, and the air was thick with humidity. But these conditions weren't unusual for Arkansas in June, and the pilots had clearance to take off. As the plane accelerated down the runway, everything seemed normal. The engines roared, the plane vibrated, and then it lifted off the ground. But almost immediately, something went wrong. Imagine this. You're sitting on a plane, looking out the window, excited for your trip. Suddenly the plane tilts violently to the left. The ground seems to rush up to meet you. People scream, luggage flies overhead. That's what happened on Flight 300. The plane, instead of climbing gracefully into the air, banked sharply to the left, almost rolling over completely. It happened so fast, so unexpectedly, that many passengers were caught off guard. The terrifying ordeal lasted only a few seconds, but for those on board it felt like an eternity. The plane plummeted towards the ground, coming dangerously close to crashing. Passengers clung to their seats, their hearts pounding in their chests. The force of the roll was so strong that some passengers were lifted from their seats, only to be slammed back down as the plane righted itself. The cabin was filled with the sounds of screaming, crying, and the ominous groaning of stressed metal. So, what caused this sudden, terrifying roll? That's what everyone wanted to know, especially the investigators who arrived at the scene shortly after the plane landed safely back in Little Rock. Was it pilot error? Did Captain Buschmann, despite his experience, make a mistake during takeoff? Or was it a mechanical failure? Did something go wrong with the plane's complex systems, causing it to behave erratically? The investigation focused on several key areas. First, they looked at the pilot's actions. Did they follow proper takeoff procedures? Did they respond correctly to the sudden roll? They also examined the plane's flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder, those black boxes that hold crucial information about a flight. These recordings could reveal what was happening in the cockpit in the moments leading up to, during, and after the roll. Section 5. Weather conditions, a force to be reckoned with. But there was another factor to consider: the weather. Those thunderstorms brewing in the distance weren't just a scenic backdrop. They could have created dangerous wind shear conditions. Wind shear is a sudden change in wind speed or direction, and it can be especially dangerous during takeoff and landing. Imagine a gust of wind slamming into one wing of the plane, forcing it to tilt. That's what wind shear can do. Investigators needed to determine if wind shear played a role in the Flight 300 incident. They analyzed weather data, interviewed witnesses on the ground, and used computer simulations to recreate the atmospheric conditions at the time of the incident. Could a sudden, unexpected gust of wind have caused the plane to roll so violently? It was a critical question that needed an answer. Section 6. Investigating the unexplained, the search for answers. The investigation into Flight 300 was thorough and meticulous. Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board, the Federal Aviation Administration, American Airlines, and McDonnell Douglas all worked together to try to piece together what happened. They interviewed the pilots, the passengers, and witnesses on the ground. They pored over the plane's maintenance records, looking for any signs of trouble. They even used flight simulators to recreate the takeoff and try to determine what might have gone wrong. The investigation revealed that the pilots had followed proper takeoff procedures. There was no evidence of any pre-existing mechanical problems with the plane, and while the weather was a factor, investigators determined that it wasn't the primary cause of the roll. So, if it wasn't pilot error, mechanical failure, or the weather, what was it? Section 7. The aftermath of Flight 300 safety measures and lessons learned. The NTSB investigation ultimately concluded that the most likely cause of the Flight 300 incident was a phenomenon known as wake turbulence. Wake turbulence is the disturbed air left behind a plane as it flies through the sky. It's like the wake behind a boat, but invisible and potentially dangerous. A large aircraft, especially during takeoff, creates powerful vortices of air that can persist for several minutes. If another plane flies into this wake turbulence, it can experience sudden and unexpected rolls, just like Flight 300 did. In the case of Flight 300, it was determined that the plane had taken off too soon after a larger aircraft, a Boeing 757. The MD-82 encountered the wake turbulence from the 757, causing the sudden and violent roll. The NTSB concluded that the air traffic controllers at Little Rock Airport had not provided adequate spacing between the two aircraft, contributing to the incident. As a result of the Flight 300 investigation, the FAA implemented new rules and procedures to increase the minimum separation distances between aircraft, especially during takeoff and landing. These changes were designed to reduce the risk of wake turbulence encounters and improve aviation safety for everyone. Section 8. The importance of aviation safety, a never-ending mission. The story of American Airlines Flight 300 is a stark reminder that even in the highly regulated and technologically advanced world of aviation, things can still go wrong. It highlights the critical importance of constant vigilance, rigorous safety protocols, and continuous improvement in the field of aviation safety. Every incident, whether it results in a near miss or a tragedy, provides valuable lessons that can be learned and applied to make flying even safer. The men and women who work tirelessly behind the scenes, the air traffic controllers, the maintenance crews, the engineers, the investigators, all play a vital role in ensuring the safety of every flight. Their dedication and commitment to safety are a testament to the importance of this often invisible industry. Section 9. Remembering Flight 300, honoring the passengers and crew. While the story of Flight 300 could have ended in tragedy, it's important to remember that everyone on board survived the terrifying ordeal. The skill of the pilots, particularly Captain Buschmann's quick thinking and expert piloting, undoubtedly saved lives that day. The passengers, while shaken, showed remarkable resilience and composure in the face of danger. Flight 300 serves as a reminder that even in the midst of chaos and fear, there is always hope. It's a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure and overcome even the most challenging situations. Section 10. The future of air travel, striving for safer skies. As technology continues to advance, we can expect to see even more sophisticated safety features incorporated into aircraft design and air traffic control systems. From enhanced weather detection systems to collision avoidance technologies, the aviation industry is constantly striving to improve safety and prevent similar incidents from happening again. The future of air travel is bright, driven by innovation, a commitment to safety, and a deep respect for the power and wonder of flight. Section 11. Conclusion. Reflecting on the incident and its impact. The story of American Airlines Flight 300 is a powerful reminder of the importance of aviation safety, the dedication of those who work tirelessly to ensure it, and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. It's a story that underscores the need for continuous improvement, rigorous investigation, and a steadfast commitment to learning from every incident, no matter how small. As we continue to take to the skies, we carry with us the lessons learned from Flight 300, striving to make every flight as safe and uneventful as the last. And maybe, just maybe, next time you watch a plane take off, you'll have a deeper appreciation for the delicate balance of forces that keep it aloft and the countless individuals who work behind the scenes to make it all possible.